I'm a wife, mom. I work full time. I love makeup and skincare. I truly believe every single woman wants to look and feel her best, and I have the tools and the resources to help you get there. Today, I am going to be sharing with you one of the most popular questions that I get on my channel and my tips and tricks for addressing it, right? So the number one question I get is, how do I keep my mascara from giving me raccoon eyes, right? Like, I constantly get asked this question because I do so many mascara application videos of reviews, comparisons, all that good stuff, right? So what can you do to prevent your mascara from smudging underneath or even on top of your eyes that causes that raccoon eyes, right? So today I am going to share with you my 25 tips and tricks. It's 2025, 25 tips and tricks. Let's get into this. Right, so anytime that I am getting ready to do a video, I always love to make sure that I incorporate what I'm wearing on my eyes and my lips, so I don't forget, because it happens all of the time. You all ask me and I'm like, oh my God, I have no idea. All right, so today on the eyes, I'm wearing the Lancome Liquid Shadow in Sunburst. I love this because it really just helps brighten up the eye. It's really like a very natural makeup look for me. I absolutely love it. On the lips, I'm wearing this Bioma Lip Tide pH Lip Oil. This is so good. It creates this custom pink color just for my lips. I have my Ultra Human ring for tracking my sleeps and my steps. Look at this cute new Apple Watch band that I got. I absolutely love the animal print on it. So fun for summer. I got my Target Rib tee on. I have this in so many colors. I love it because you can dress it up, you can dress it down. Have you all tried this? This is a sparkling water from Spindrift. This is the grapefruit flavor. It's from real fruit juice. You know, I was like so excited to give this a try, and I absolutely love it. It's part of my Amazon subscribe and save. Definitely make sure you check it out. I love a good grapefruit flavor, you all. I'm here for it. On the nails, I'm wearing the London Town Cure Illuminating Nail Concealer in the color Bear. I love this because it just really helps kind of brighten up the lashes, brighten up the nails. So pretty, you all. Love it. Any of the products that I'm sharing with you today, I'll be sure to include my affiliate link down in the description so you can check out the products. Not only will I include the links to shop the products, which is what allows me to bring you new products to the channel every single week, I'll also include the videos so you can go and watch the dedicated reviews and tutorials that I've done on these products. If you're like me, you love a really good deal on makeup and skincare, make sure you subscribe to my weekly email list. And last but not least, after spending years using different planners and not really finding one that I loved, I decided to make my own, and I made it available to you over on Amazon. So if you're like me, you like to travel or track your goals, habit tracking, goal setting, I don't even know what I'm saying, to-do list, all of those things in one place, make sure you go and check out my planners. All right, let's get into this video. Okay, so 25 tips and tricks. That's a lot, right? But I think that all of these, as I was reviewing them and putting together each and every one of them, they are so helpful. And stay tuned because I'm gonna share with you my top ones, all right? So as I'm going through and I'm talking about these tips and tricks, I am gonna apply some makeup. So I'm gonna start out with a little bit of eye primer, all right? So this is a really great tip, actually. If you just apply your eye primer to the tops of your eyelid, maybe consider taking a little bit of that product underneath your eye, all right? Again, if you are struggling, I am hoping if you're struggling with raccoon eyes, I'm hoping at least one of these tips and tricks will resonate and will be so helpful for you. So again, putting that eye primer underneath, it really is going to just help your makeup stay in place, all right? So that is key. And eye primer typically has just a little bit of a different texture than your face primer. So the reason why I really like a good face primer, that was the Urban Decay anti-aging eyeshadow primer potion. So good, you all. Like, who doesn't love skincare with their makeup? Here for it. And then for the face primer, I'm gonna go in with the Merit Beauty Great Skin Priming Moisturizer. Anyway, if you've tried your face primer underneath your eyes and that doesn't seem to be working, try your eye primer underneath your eyes. See if that helps, all right? While I'm letting all of this sit for about 5 minutes or so, let's talk about the skincare products, things that you should take into consideration, all right? So the next tip is make sure whenever you're going in to apply your makeup in the first place, that you truly have clean skin, you all. Wash your face. Make sure you're removing your makeup all the way the night before, but in the morning, wash your face. Use your toner, your serum, your moisturizer, right? Starting out with that really, really great skin is going to help make sure that you're removing any kind of oils that your skin has produced overnight, as well as any leftover makeup that may be on your face that could sabotage your mascara. All right, so again, make sure you start with a clean face. Now, right now, I'm personally not using any type of an eye cream, but if you are using an eye cream, make sure that it is oil-free. What's happening is if you have a heavy eye cream that you're putting underneath the eye, that can cause smudging and slipping of your mascara because your lashes are rubbing against that eye cream, all right? So even though you've layered your products, that eye cream might be coming through, especially if it's a little bit more on the heavier side. So maybe try out, I hate to say this, removing your eye cream from your routine just to see if it helps, right? So all of these things, try it not just once, but 2 or 3 times to really get a sense of, is this what is causing my mascara to smudge, all right? And you don't necessarily have to try all of these things all at once because it's a lot, right? Like 25 tips and tricks, right? But if you try 1 or 2 here and there, maybe you can really get to the root of what's causing your mascara to slip. So then you can go back to your other parts of your routine and then just maybe modify that step. So you could look at using your eye cream overnight, see if that helps. Changing your eye cream, looking for one that's oil-free. There's all kinds of different possible solutions. The other thing that you want to do is to make sure that your skincare has completely absorbed into the skin before you apply your makeup. A lot of times, especially in the morning, if you're like me, you're like rush, 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 rush. What I try to do is I let each step of my skincare routine dry. And in the meantime, I'm like brushing my teeth, getting dressed, putting on body lotion, whatever it is, right? Like doing other things. So that way each of those skincare elements has a chance to absorb into the skin. And then I make sure all of my skincare has absorbed into the skin before I go in with my makeup. Just like right now, I'm letting that primer set into the skin before I go in with my makeup, right? We want to allow all of that to have a chance to absorb before you start layering, right? It has to have a chance to do what it needs to do. The other thing that you can do is there's all kinds of little blotter treatments, like little cloths. I don't have any, but you could always take that and blot underneath the eye area if you do feel like you have excess oil. You could do this throughout the day. You could do it before you apply your mascara, but that might be something to take a look at if you are really struggling. You've tried some of these other tips and you're just not sure what is causing, that mascara to smudge. Try to use something to kind of blot and absorb any excess moisture or oil underneath the eyes, all right? Now, there's a couple of tips for me personally. I don't necessarily use an eyelash curler, but this could help, all right? And you're like, how could that help? Tell me about it, all right? So when you use an eyelash curler, it really helps to kind of lift your lashes up and away from the skin. Now, I always, because my lashes are so short and non-existent, I get like way too close to my lash line. So I'm not like a huge lash curler person. All right. So I just like to keep it simple, sister. All right, let's get into applying a little bit of makeup here. I'll be back and I'll give you some additional mascara tips as I'm applying. Put on a little bit of foundation and eyeshadow and lip color, just to kind of like keep it moving here, all right? Let's get into talking about your application of the makeup. All right, so first of all, again, this is not necessarily my go-to because I feel like using a waterproof mascara can be a little bit damaging to the lashes, but I do think there are instances when it is helpful. And in this case, if you have tried everything and you're still not having success, using a waterproof mascara is the number one thing that you can do to reduce smudging of your mascara. All right, so again, if you haven't tried that, give it a whirl. Let me know what you think. Now, I will share using a tubing mascara. What it does is it forms little tubes around your lashes and it does not smear. So this is my second tip. If you're not going to use a waterproof mascara, use a tubing mascara. This one here is from Unique. It's the Quadra Lash product. Not only is it a tubing mascara, it is also a serum and a primer. It like just does it all, like everything in one package. Patent on this product, which means you're not gonna find this formula anywhere else. I absolutely love this. Tarte makes a really good tubing mascara. The Tartelette mascara, if you're looking for a drugstore option, e.l.f. makes a tubing mascara. All of these are really, really great options. So if you're not a fan of waterproof like I am not, try a tubing mascara. Again, it wraps around the follicles and just does not cause smudging near as easy as like a regular mascara. The other thing that you can do is you can wipe off any excess product from the wand before you apply that product, all right? The other thing that you can do, and I do this quite often, is you can avoid putting mascara on your lower lashes. See if that is something that would help you. If again, you're struggling with raccoon eyes, don't put mascara on your lower lashes. See if that helps. Also, I mean, this kind of, I feel like goes without saying, try not to rub your eyes throughout the day. That could be causing it. And so maybe you're not even aware of it. Let somebody know, hey, like tell your girlfriend or whatever, tell your coworker, hey, I'm really struggling with mascara getting underneath my eye. If you see me rubbing my eyes throughout the day, can you let me know? Because maybe you're doing it and you don't even realize it. So again, this is a really, really great tubing mascara, you all. I absolutely love the way my lashes look with this. It builds so nicely. If you watch any of my videos, you know I love to just build and build mascara. This builds without any clumping whatsoever. Same with the Tartelette and the e.l.f. Those are just really great tubing mascaras as well that I recommend that you check out. So again, maybe just try not putting mascara on your lower lashes. See if that helps things, all right? The next tip I have for you is that if you are going to apply mascara to your lower lashes, you could try to just put the waterproof formula on the lower lashes if you're not crazy about putting it on the top lashes like me. Again, I don't typically buy waterproof mascara, so I don't really have a go-to one or one that I would recommend, but definitely take a look and make sure when you are putting on a waterproof mascara, you want to make sure that you use a really gentle yet effective cleansing balm to remove that. Because remember, going back to that tip that I mentioned before, you've got to start out with clean skin, clean lashes, because if you have any residual product left over from the night before, that can really wreak havoc in your application for the next day. So again, really making sure that you are removing everything the night before, getting rid of all of those oils. That product is going to be key, and I think it's a step that a lot of people miss. So again, the tubing mascara removes really, really gently because it just wraps around the follicle. I don't know, it can come off with soap, like not even soap, but just like warm water and a like cloth, and it comes right off. It's amazing. It's the coolest technology, you all. Okay. The other thing that you can do is you can set, if you put on concealer, make sure you use either some type of like a setting powder or additional powder. For me personally, I like to use a really nice finely milled powder. I really like this one from NARS. This is the light reflecting setting powder. It's translucent. Again, you can take a little bit of that powder and press it just really, really lightly underneath the eyes. You can also use a brush. I love a good brush, you all. So I could take my brush here. And again, by kind of setting this underneath the eyes, your concealer, you're creating this barrier. It's gonna help prevent that concealer from setting into your fine lines, but also it's gonna create that barrier and make it a little bit harder for that product to rub onto the lower lash, because you're putting a barrier between the skin and the lashes with that powder, all right? Again, if your under eye is creamy, that is just asking for smudges, all right? So again, I know it's challenging to find that balance between making sure your under eye is really hydrated, because that's gonna minimize the look of fine lines and wrinkles, while also making sure that you've created this barrier where it's not, you know, ultra creamy and it's causing your product to rub, all right? But when you use really finely milled powders, it will make it so that this under eye area is nice and smooth, but it's creating that barrier, all right? Another thing that you can do, actually, I don't even think I have a lash primer right now. Do I? Oh yes, here we go. All right, so this is the Unique Lash Primer. This again is gonna be really good at helping your mascara grip to the eyelash, but then also just help it last longer. I really like the Unique one because it really helps to separate the lashes. For me personally, a tubing though product, especially this one from Unique where the primer is built in, it's all in one. So that kind of eliminates the need for that additional step and that additional product. So you could try to look for a tubing product that has that primer built in, but that's a tip as well. Maybe you're not into the tubing product, you've tried it, you don't like it, you're using a waterproof mascara, use a primer underneath. It's gonna help that mascara grip and just last so much longer throughout the day. Now, as I'm continuing to apply more layers of mascara, this is actually a tip, you all. Don't overload your lashes. I personally, I know I don't struggle with necessarily the raccoon eyes, but if you are somebody that does, try to cut down on the number of applications of mascara that you are putting onto the lashes. The more mascara, the more you're increasing that chance of smudging, right? So kind of cut back on that, see if it helps, and then make sure you let each layer dry before you do add more. So if you are somebody that is like me, you have short non-existent lashes, make sure you let that first coat dry before you go into the second coat. What that's going to do, it's gonna not only prevent clumping, but it's also going to prevent transfer, all right? Now, the other thing you can do, make sure that you apply that mascara last. That's gonna, again, help avoid transfer to the rest of the face. You can carry some type of translucent powder with you for touch-ups, again, to make sure that this underneath eye area is not getting, you know, kind of creamy or oily from whatever products you're using. Use a setting spray all over your face. This is gonna help hold your makeup in place, just like hairspray for the face. Just spritz this on. This is the Milani Make It Last Original Natural Finish Setting Spray. I really like that. That's a really great option as well to really help lock everything in. Let's talk about what you don't want to do, all right? Don't rub your eyes. I mentioned that before. Skip any kind of oily makeup removers, because if you're not the best about making sure that you're really washing that face, you may not have gotten all of it off. So again, I think you kind of see the theme with like oily concealers, oily eye creams, oily makeup removers, right? When you have that oil, it's gonna cause that product to transfer easier. All right, so try to eliminate that. I personally like a really good cleansing balm. It does have the oils in it, but they also are really, really effective at removing your makeup and come off really, really nicely versus like your traditional like liquid makeup remover that's oily. I feel like sometimes that can be hard to really wash off. So again, that's just my personal opinion. Again, avoid heavy eye creams in the morning. You can incorporate that into your nighttime skincare routine. Another thing, make sure if you're gonna be somewhere where it's hot and humid, that you're going to be more susceptible for the raccoon eyes. Make sure you're using setting products. Make sure you're using less product. Make sure you're properly removing your product at night. All of that's going to help reduce and minimize any type of raccoon eyes. Last, but definitely not least, I talk about this often, make sure that your mascara has not expired. I always talk about, your mascara, the FDA recommends you switch it out every 3 to 5 months. The reason I always talk about is because of the fact that bacteria can start growing and that can cause like eye infections and all of that. But your product loses its like staying power, like its effectiveness, right? Including it can start flaking and smudging because it's going to start drying out. So that's like another really easy thing to take a look at. Like, hey, when was the last time I changed out my mascara? If it's been more than 4 months, it's time to switch it out and see if that helps. All right, so there you have it. Those are my 25 tips to saying goodbye to raccoon eyes. Let me know which tip is your favorite. Do you have your own secret? Let me know in the comments. And if you like these types of in-depth tips and tricks videos, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, so that way anytime I post a new video, you're notified. Have a great day. You all know I'm always reviewing mascara, so if you're checking out or looking for another mascara review video, make sure you go watch this one next.